Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Brothers and sisters, over the next 30 minutes, I want to give our black parents some pointers for dealing with African school-age children who are questioning their God-given assigned gender at birth. As you know, President Barack Hussein Obama, I call him Barack Insane Obama, brought forth the rainbow agenda in the black community. And he pushed the rainbow agenda on the black community more aggressively than any president in the history of America. And despite the fact that black people traditionally do not subscribe to rainbow culture, because Barack Obama was the one who infiltrated the black community in the black public school with the rainbow agenda, 50 million American Africans sat by, said nothing, and let Barack Obama have his way with our children. So, I've heard from several black parents over the past couple of weeks who have children who are coming home from school telling them that they think they want to sign up for the rainbow. And black parents are reaching out to me. They're upset. They are angry. They don't know what to do. And because I've heard from so many parents over the past couple of weeks involving African children who are being brainwashed and psychologically confused by the rainbow agenda, I decided that the time has come for me to give black parents a couple of pointers for dealing with your child who is being brainwashed into thinking they belong on the other side of the rainbow. So let me give you a couple of pointers. First of all, I need every black parent in America to understand something. Point number one. How do I say this? Rainbow therapy is illegal in America. I want to make sure black parents understand this. You cannot take your child to any therapist in this country and in other European cultures and think you're going to get them therapy to undo their new identity. I want to make sure we're clear. You cannot take your child to a therapist hoping to have their newfound identity reversed. You cannot do that. In the United States, it is illegal to try to change a child back to what they were born. Absolutely illegal. If your son wants to be a girl, if your girl wants to be your son, you cannot take them to therapy to deal with their newly chosen gender identity. It is illegal in America. You have to be very careful with how you engage your child. Because if your child goes to school, and tell the principal, the teacher, the school counselor, the school social worker, the school psychologist, that my mother and father are angry at me for choosing to change my sexual identity, your children will be removed from your home. Your babies can be confiscated for you aggressively challenging your child's decision to live their life as the opposite gender. I need y'all to understand this. America is not a pro-black country, but it is a pro-rainbow country. America is not a pro-black country, but America is a pro-rainbow country. America is not a pro-black country, but America is definitely a pro-rainbow country. So number one, do not emotionally torment your child. We have to be strategic in 21st century America. Do not emotionally torment your child over their sexual confusion, or you will lose your child. Make sure you're clear on that. Okay? That goes for Muslims, that goes for Christians. See, this is one of the reasons why we need our own schools. This is one of the reasons why we need our own schools. Public schools equal public rules. I'm going to say it again. Public schools equal public rules. I'm going to say it again. Send your child to public school and you must follow the public rules. So, if your child is expressing sexual confusion, there's a couple of things you need to check out for. One of the things you need to check for, has your child been sexually abused? Has your child been sexually abused? Okay? Because many black children who choose to live their life as another gender are often the victims of sexual assault. Same gender sexual assault, opposite gender sexual assault. Make sure there's no molestation or pedophilia in your child's history. Because if it is, this sexual confusion can be explained through sexual trauma. Okay? Trauma. So if your child came to choose a new sexual identity as a result of molestation and pedophilia, then that is trauma. Okay? And if we know the cause of the sexual confusion, then maybe we can do some things to address the sexual confusion. Okay? So number one, make sure there's no history of sexual assault. Number two, has your child been exposed to members of the Rainbow Militia? If your child has been exposed to members of the Rainbow Militia, let's say they have a rainbow aunt or a rainbow uncle or a rainbow cousin, or one of the parents is under the rainbow, or a rainbow next door neighbor, or a rainbow pastor. If your child is allowed to spend time with members of the rainbow who are older than them, children are impressionable. Children are very impressionable. If you allow them to hang around members of the rainbow, then they too will end up becoming one day like they feel that they belong to the rainbow. Okay, that's number two. Number three, and this is a big one because black parents do not do this very well. Number three, when is the last time you invited your son or daughter's friends over to the house for a cup of tea and a chat? Most of you don't know your children's friends. You don't know who they hang around. You don't know who they are. You don't know where they live. You've never met their parents. How can a black parent in 21st century America have their child hanging with other children who you have never met? Somebody help me out. Somebody help me out. You must invite your children's friends over to the home once a season to do a checkup. I recommend once a month, at least once a season. 4 times a year, you're going to take them girls out with your daughter. You're going to take them boys out with your son. You can go to Pizza Hut. You could go to the African restaurant. You can go wherever you want. You could bring them to your house and have dinner. You can prepare dinner for the children, but a movie night. But you had better be sitting down with the children that your children are hanging with. You must do that. You must do that. You cannot let your children walk out the house and find friends in the neighborhood. Not in these days and times. You cannot let your children walk out the house and find friends in the neighborhood on their own. Absolutely not. You need to meet these friends. You need to ask them for their parents' numbers. Call their parents and say, hey, I'm Umar's mother, and your son is hanging with my son, and I just wanted to find out a little bit more about the children that my son is hanging around. Does he come from a 2-parent family, single-parent family, both parents in the home, any parent been in prison? You know, what do you guys do for a living? Do you work? You know, what are you into? You know, there's a lot of different challenges out here for our children. I just want to know, you know, in fact, would you mind coming over for lunch? Invite the child and their parents over to the house for dinner. Your child got 5 close friends. Well, guess what? You're going to have 5 family dinners. You're going to have a dinner with peer number one's parents. You're going to have dinner with peer number two's parents. You're going to have dinner with peer number three's parents. You're going to have dinner with peer number four's parents. You're going to have dinner with peer number five parents. You must meet the parents. You must meet the children. Okay? Okay? And I'm going to be honest. A lot of our children are being pressured into the rainbow militia by aunts and uncles who have already been drafted. A lot of our sons and daughters are being pressured into the rainbow militia by aunts and uncles who have already been drafted. A lot of our children are being pressured into joining the rainbow militia by aunts and uncles who have already been drafted. So some of you are going to have to make some decisions, because if your brother and sister cannot respect your wishes to raise your child a certain way, then you may have to limit access. You may have to limit their access to your child. Okay. Now, here's another factor that a lot of you may have never thought about. Here's another factor that a lot of you may have never thought about, okay? Abandonment. Has your child been abandoned by their mother or their father? Has your child been abandoned by their mother or father deliberately, okay, or unintentionally? What do I mean? Father got locked up. He been to jail. Okay, father's in jail. Father's deceased. Father moved away to live with his snow bunny. The son feels abandoned. He feels abandoned. And in his abandonment, he may come to believe that black men ain't shit. And if your son comes to believe that black men ain't shit as a result of the abandonment or absence of his father, okay, he may then begin to crave masculine energy, the masculine energy that he wanted from his father and he's not getting. Because every son needs that masculine love from his father. Just like every daughter needs that feminine love from her mother. If you get that masculine love from your dad, you're going to be a healthy young man. But if you don't get that masculine love from your dad, another man can come along. Another man can come along. Another man can come along and manipulate your son's thirst for masculine energy into a sexual relationship. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. So when children are missing a parent, it could go either way. Your son could be missing his mother. He could be missing his mother, and he might feel that his mother not being there means that he's not good enough to be loved. He may feel that his mother not being there means that he's not good enough to be loved by a woman. So he may reject girls altogether because his mother abandoned him. He may reject girls altogether because his mother abandoned him. He may reject girls altogether and simply try to build relationships with men. Same thing happens with your daughter. Father abandoned the little girl. She don't think she's attractive enough to be loved by a man because her father never loved her the way she needed. So she rejects men altogether, and she only builds romantic relationships with girls. So you have to look at the abandonment issue. Children who are abandoned by one of their parents are at risk for being recruited into the rainbow militia. Please understand this. Okay? Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is a big risk factor for kids who are being recruited into the rainbow militia. Low self-esteem. If your daughter has low self-esteem, if she doesn't think much of herself, if she's often bullied or picked on or excluded from school, and she finally runs into some girls who get respect, some girls who got power, some girls who got the swag, some girls who got the clout, and those girls are rainbow militia, your daughter may join the rainbow militia, not because she's into that, but she wants to get respect. She wants to be part of the gang that runs the school, runs the neighborhood, and she will voluntarily self-initiate into the rainbow militia because she don't want to be the loner at school, or she don't want to be the loner in the community no more. Same thing with your boys. A low self-esteem boy runs into the rainbow militia at high school, runs into the rainbow militia in the neighborhood, And the next thing you know, they catch him in a room alone and they try a couple things on him and say, listen, it ain't that bad. You'll get used to it. And the next thing you know, after a week or two, he's a full-fledged card-carrying member of the Rainbow Guard. The bottom line is, if we're not going to be involved in our children's lives the way that we should be, the bottom line is, if you are not going to be involved in your children's life the way that you should be, you are setting them up for potential recruitment by the Rainbow Militia. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But let me tell you what you better not do. Do not isolate yourself from your child. Do not isolate yourself from your child. If you isolate yourself from your sexually confused child, you will push them further over the rainbow. If you isolate yourself from your sexually confused child, you will push them further over the rainbow. If you isolate them, if you repudiate them, if you condemn them, if you curse them, if you cancel them, this already isolated child, this already lonely child is going to seek shelter with the Rainbow Nation. They're going to seek shelter with the Rainbow Nation. You must keep the lines of communication open between you and your children. You must keep the lines of communication open between you and your children. You must keep the lines of communication open between you and your children. As much as you don't like it, if you want to save your son, if you want to save your daughter, you will withhold your criticism. And you will simply say, listen, I don't agree with that lifestyle at all. I want you to understand that. That's not what I want for you. I don't believe that's what God wants for you. That's not what your ancestors want for you. I want you to be clear. I do not support it. But I love you as my son. I love you as my daughter. And as your mother, as your father, I want you to know that no matter how you choose to spend the rest of your life, I will unconditionally love you no matter what. It's going to take me some time to get used to this. It's going to take me some time to accept that you may be spending the rest of your life as the opposite gender. And I may never get comfortable with it. But I want you to know that because I love you, I will do my best to try to accept you as you are. Okay? Who is this person you spending time with? Can I meet this young man? Who is this young lady you're spending time with? Can I meet this young lady? And I know some of you, it's against everything we believe in. I understand. But I'm telling you right now, if you lose your child, over this, you may never get them back. You may never get them back. You have to play spook who sat by the door. I said you have to play spook who sat by the rainbow door. You're going to be the spook who sat by the rainbow door. Because when you meet your son's boyfriend, when you meet your daughter's girlfriend, and you talk to them in a non-judgmental, non-accusatory way, you may start finding out what brought them into the Rainbow Militia. And then you might want to have a conversation with their parents, because maybe their parents don't like the lifestyle, or maybe their parents are in the lifestyle. But the only way you're going to get your kid back is to learn as much as possible about how your kid got initiated into the rainbow fraternity or sorority, and how the people they're hanging around got initiated into the rainbow fraternity or sorority. You want to basically make everybody so comfortable that they'll tell you whatever is on their mind. You want your daughter so comfortable that she will tell you whatever's on her mind. You know why? Because as much as you don't like the lifestyle, as much as I don't support the lifestyle, if you don't have an open line of communication with your son, what if your 15-year-old son ends up dating a 40-year-old man? What if your 15-year-old son ends up dating a 40-year-old man? What if your 16-year-old daughter ends up in a relationship with a 45-year-old woman? You see what I'm getting at? This can get very dangerous for your child if they don't have an open line of communication with you. This can get very dangerous for your child if they don't have an open line of communication with you. One of the things I recommend you do is, if your child is being drafted or recruited by the Rainbow Nation, if the Rainbow Nation is knocking at your door, if the Rainbow Nation is knocking at your door for your child, and one of the parents is not present in the child's life, I can almost guarantee you, if your daughter is considering joining the Rainbow Nation and her father's not around, if your son is considering joining the Rainbow Nation and his mother's not around, if they're missing any parent, I don't care if it's the masculine parent, the feminine parent, if the Rainbow Nation is trying to recruit your child and your child is cut off from one of their biological parents, I suggest you find a surrogate for your child. That's right. If your daughter is missing a father, find a man to spend time with your daughter. If your son is missing a mother, find a woman to spend time with your son. If your son is missing a father, find a man to spend time with your son. If your daughter is missing a mother, find a woman to spend time with your daughter. In almost every case, the absence of a parent plays a role in future rainbow behavior. I'm telling you this. Well, if both parents are around, the first question I'm going to ask, if both parents are around, first question I'm going to ask, what is the quality of the relationship with that child with both parents? What is the quality of the relationship of both parents with that child? Because just because both parents are in the house, that doesn't mean both parents are emotionally available. See, I need y'all to understand something. I need y'all to understand, overstand, and understand. Living with your child is great. But if you are emotionally unavailable to your child, it's almost as if you don't live there anyway. I'm going to say it again. Because some of y'all think since you see your child every day. Some of y'all think because you live in the house with your child, that means nothing unless you are emotionally available to your child. A lot of black fathers are in the house with their sons, but they're not emotionally available to them. A lot of black mothers are in the house with their daughters, but they're not emotionally available to them. You have to be emotionally available. I need y'all to understand something. The number one predictor of your child becoming a pedophile is emotional abuse or rejection. I'm going to say it again. The number one risk factor for your child becoming a pedophile is to have been emotionally abused, rejected, or abandoned by his parents. The number one risk factor for your child being recruited by the Rainbow Militia is to have been emotionally rejected, abused, or abandoned as a child. So the best thing you can do to prevent your child from being a pedophile perpetrator, pedophile victim, Rainbow Nation member is to love your child, spend time with your child, be available with your child, have fun with your child. I'm telling you. See, the problem with Black America is we are following white America straight into the pits of hell when it comes to child rearing. Let me say it again. The problem with Black America is we are following white America straight into the pits of hell when it comes to child rearing. We are emotionally absent from our children's lives. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. You are pursuing your career at the expense of your child's mental health. You are out there saving the community at the expense of your child's mental health. You are out there chasing after some man. You are out there chasing after some woman at the expense of your child's mental health. See, this is why when the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for African Racial Reconstruction is complete. And we are almost done. I want to thank all my donors right now. I want to thank all my donors from around the world, from Australia to Nigeria to the Congo to Namibia to Lesotho to Gambia, from Togo, Benin, Zambia, all the Africans on the continent who be hitting the PayPal for FDMG. I love my African family. I want to say right now, I love my African family. Y'all have no idea how much the African continent has donated to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. 1 year, I'm going to take a year off of being FDMG CEO, and I'm going to spend a whole year in Africa. I want to do that, y'all. I want to come to Africa and spend a whole year on the continent, going from country to country. And I want my international Africans, send your resume in. Send your resume to fdmgresumes@gmail. Send your resumes to fdmgresumes@gmail, because we want a faculty and a staff that represents the entire African diaspora. We want our sons to be taught by Africans from all over the world, brothers and sisters. One of the things we're going to do when the school is ready, one of the things we are going to do when the school is ready is we are going to give birth to the FDMG village or the Team Pan-African village. I haven't decided if I'm going to put it under FDMG or if I'm going to put it under Team Pan-African. But let me tell you what the village is. There are a lot of African people in America who are lonely and isolated, and they want to become part of a healthy, productive Black community. So what I'm going to do at your school, my school, our school, is I am going to create a village. We are going to create a village for African people who want to be part of a family greater than the one they were born into. If you want to be part of an African village greater than the family into which you were born, you will be able to join into the FDMG village. It will be a fee, and that money will be used to do what? Take care of the village, brothers and sisters. That's right. Somebody gets sick, we got to take care of them. Somebody got to go into the hospital, we got to take care of their kids. We're going to function like a village. We're going to come together. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to eat together. We're going to sleep together. We're going to live together. We're going to have fun together. We're going to travel together. We're going to create a village, and we're going to come up with principles of solidarity at the village. We're going to come up with principles of solidarity at the village. So we may have a principle that says, brother, if you dating one sister, you cannot date another sister if you did not make it clear to her that you are talking to another sister, because you might be polygamous, right? So if you polygamous, did you let both sisters know you was polygamous? Because if you belong to our village and you are not being honest with these sisters, you will be disqualified, excommunicated from the village. Same thing for the Black sister. You gossiping about another sister, you talking about another sister behind her back, you spreading rumors about another Black woman. With all due respect, the Council of Elders is going to dismiss you from the village. So for all of you who want to be part of something greater than yourselves, part of a real family, we are going to create a village for African people. Yes, brothers and sisters. Yes, brothers and sisters. The village is absolutely come. We need the village. I'm hearing from too many black folks who want to be part of something progressive. They want to feel like they're part of a family. They don't want to have to always be watching their back and worrying about slander and people trying to tear them apart. We are going to give birth to a real village for African people, brothers and sisters. Okay? But I just wanted to come on here and tell you, please be careful with how you deal with your child if they come home expressing sexual confusion. And I'm telling you the simplest way to reverse that. Guess what the simplest way to reverse that is? The simplest way to reverse sexual confusion in a black child is to show them love and spend time. That's it. That you can reverse half of sex if you just spend time with your kids. They need masculine energy. They need feminine energy. They need masculine energy. They need feminine energy. Just spend time with your children. The problem is they're not getting enough nurture at home. The problem is our children are not getting enough nurture at home. And when they don't get enough nurture at home, they will look for it anywhere they can find it. And if the only place they can get some nurture is inside of a rainbow gang, they will join a rainbow gang. So many of us upset at our children for going over the rainbow, when the truth of the matter is you might have pushed your own child over the rainbow. That's right. Look into the mirror. You may be the reason your child is on the other side of the rainbow. So I'm telling you, take your time. No, our village is not, I'm not no type of, I'm not interested in being deified. I want to be very clear. I want to be very clear. To the person who just made that comment, I'm not interested in being deified. I don't want nobody to call me a prophet. I don't want nobody calling me no Messiah. I don't want nobody calling me no God in the flesh. None of that. I don't need that. I'm like Marcus Garvey. We don't need to be deified. We let our work speak for itself. So this is not a village we're creating so everybody can bow down and kiss DR.UMAR's ring. Not at all. I'm just one of many. I'm no different, no better, no more valuable than any other brother or sister in the village. You understand me? Part of the village, no snow bunnying. If you are a snow bunny survivor, you cannot be in the village. And for that reason, it cannot go under FDMG. It's going to have to go under Team Pan-African. The village is going to have to go. I forgot about the snow bunnies. I forgot about the snow bunnies. So if you are a snow bunny survivor, you cannot be in the village. We're not doing it. No, 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 no. We're trying to replicate a modern African village where we do for self and do for one another. Okay? Conscious Singles Convention. I'm going to schedule the Conscious Singles Convention is going to happen inside of FDMG. The Conscious Singles Convention is going to happen inside of FDMG. The Conscious Singles Convention is going to take place inside of the John Jacques Dessalines Nat Turner Gymnasium in the Honorable Marcus Garvey Elementary School. You understand me? So if you are conscious and you are looking for a mate, first of all, I'm going to divide y'all up. You're going to have to fill out registration. How many times you've been married? Okay. Are you a polygamist or polyandrous? We might have sisters looking for more than one husband. Loosey-goosey crew. Okay, sisters looking for more than one husband, polyandry, loosey-goosey crew. So polygynous brothers, polyandrous women. Okay, we gotta divide that up. You feel me? Okay, age, history of mental illness. Okay, we're gonna break this thing down, brothers and sisters. Are you a business owner? Are you an employee? All right. Okay. And it's open to all African people. So my continental Africans, y'all can come. My Caribbean Africans, y'all can come. My Canadian Africans, we one family at FDMG. We don't play those other games. We are one African family at FDMG. But I need my sisters to know, to my beautiful African queens who plan on coming to the Conscious Singles Convention. To my beautiful African queens who plan on coming to the Conscious Singles Convention. If your hair is not natural, you cannot come to the Conscious Singles Convention. I want to be clear. I want to be clear. This is not for the mainstream black woman. This is not for the mainstream black man. If you are not conscious and if you are not natural, you have no business at the Conscious Singles Convention. I'm dead serious. Security will not let you in if you are not natural or if you look unconscious. Don't come in there smelling like weed, pants sagging off your butt, looking like you want to fight somebody. You will be escorted away. It's not that type of game. This is for conscious. If you are not conscious, you are not welcome here. Okay? I love my Christian brothers and sisters married to the church. But this is about black consciousness. And if you're not into black consciousness, you can't come. I love my Muslim brothers married to the masjid, dedicated and loyal to the masjid. But if you're not conscious, you're not coming here. Okay? This is for people who consider themselves to be black consciousness. If you don't consider yourself to be, so if you are a multiculturalist, you have no business coming. Snow bunnies, snow puppies, you have no business coming. If you are mixed race African, you are more than welcome to come. But if you consider yourself biracial and not black, you are not welcomed here. Okay? I want to make sure we are clear about the Conscious Singles Convention. Okay? We're going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of fun at FDMG. Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy, paypal.me/FDMG Academy.